Hi everyone, this is Shashank. I'm a solutions engineer here at Zoom Communications, and today I'll be discussing about a very recent conversation I had with a prospect who was very interested to know how Zoom Contact Center and its capabilities can help address their business challenges. Now, one of the challenges which was presented to us was that this prospect did not have a knowledge base, a KB or a repository, um, and they really needed to create one from scratch, and they were looking on pointers on how Zoom can address this challenge for them. What they did have was about 3 years of call recordings from their current telephony provider. They needed to extract transcripts, summaries out of this, and based on that insight, they would want to create a knowledge base on their own. Of course, with a little bit of guidance from our side. Now, when we hear about transcripts, what comes to our mind? Definitely AI, right? Zoom is all about AI first. Um, Before going into contact center, my approach on this was to first leverage Zoom Revenue Accelerator. Now, for those of you who don't know, ZRA is a conversational intelligence tool which sits on top of Zoom meetings and Zoom phone, which analyzes your call recordings, provides you insights with stats around sentiment score, engagement scores. It looks for certain keywords, indicators, and it provides you a ton of insights. But all that when the recording is generated by Zoom. However, in this case, the file is coming from an external source. So good news. Zoom Revenue Accelerator, with the help of file upload APIs and a few other APIs, can also analyze a file coming from an external system. And in today's demo, we'll show you on how to set it up, right? And with what we learn from this demo, we can apply at scale, and any prospect can then, simply migrate the recordings over, get transcripts, and then create structured knowledge bases out of that. All right, so let's get going with this demo. Um, I have set up Postman and I have also logged into to Zoom app marketplace, which is what we would need to achieve this use case. So let's get cracking. Now, before we begin, I would like to show you that call recording, which we'll import into this demo.
This call is being recorded for quality
Yeah, that's the
assurance and
file type.
purposes.
Hey, Michael, this side Shashank.
Sure, Shashank. I currently live in Godrej.
So what you're hearing is a sample call file. We have simulated a call between a real estate broker, a channel partner talking to a prospect who's a home buyer who wants to know what kind of housing he should purchase, what's the budget, and all that. So it's an MP3 file which we'll import into Zoom Revenue Accelerator, right? Now, the very first thing to do that is to create an app on the marketplace. But before we go ahead and do that, let me just show you the current environment of Zoom Revenue Accelerator. There's absolutely no data in the last 7 days. There's a lot of data from the past, which we are not concerned with. These are some test call samples or call meetings from my environment. But from the last 7 days, there's absolutely no data, and we'll try to import something over here, right? All right, so let's get going and create that app on the marketplace. Over here, we need to add the Z-array scopes. The most important one, to upload a file to Z-array. Click continue, continue, add app now. We'll allow the app with the permissions. And now the app is built to test the APIs. Just Just make a note of the client ID and client secret somewhere. Now, next we need to move into Postman. Auth type OAuth 2.0. Configure a new token. Just put in the necessary fields over here, auth URLs and access token URLs, and put in the client ID that you've just now copied from the marketplace. Client secret, and then create a new access token. Another authorization, we click allow, authorization complete, and we got the access token. So we'll just keep that access token somewhere safe. And for next steps, we will use the upload file API to create a file ID, which should look something like this. This file ID will then go into the next post request over here to create that conversation inside array. We'll just ensure that the bearer token is right. We'll upload the file from the system, and then we'll go for it. So now we've got the file ID, which we'll again copy somewhere safe. And now for the next part, we'll use the second API. Just ensure on the bearer token once more. And the right file ID needs to go here. So it says 21st of June 2026, which has not happened yet. We'll just make it as 21st of March. Time and time zone can be anything. We can also put a meeting title or a phone title, conversation topic. But for now, we can just leave it as it is. And let's go for it. Yeah, there's no data over here. Hit send. And that's a success. Conversation ID created. We just go back here. We'll do a quick refresh. Look at that. Now Revenue Accelerator will start to analyze this call, which has been uploaded via an API. So let's give it a couple of seconds. I think it might take about 30 seconds to a minute. Revenue Accelerator is a very powerful tool to get insights out of your meetings and recordings, whether it's sentiment score, engagement score that you're looking for, how your customers have been talking to you, what's the pitch like, and even how your reps are talking. Uh, are they talking fluently? Are they using filler words and things like that? So it's a very powerful tool that Zoom provides. We call it as Zoom Revenue Accelerator. All right, let's just give it a quick refresh. It's still processing. All right. So I think it took about like 3 to 4 minutes, but that call recording has now been processed by a Zoom Revenue Accelerator. As you can see, it says 3 minutes and 32 seconds. And we have got a conversation transcript out of it, which talks about um, what was being said in the call, It's about a real estate call to a prospect home buyers. ZRA has actually defined the next steps, broken down the conversation into chapters as well. You can also create moments out of this conversation. Let's say you want to create a smaller clip and share it with someone to collaborate within your team. You can do those kind of things as well. So based on ZRA APIs, you can further take this transcript and then pipe it to your knowledge bases or your CRMs, and then create KB out of it, which can then further be used as a repository, which can feed information into Zoom Contact Center when a call comes up, so that the agent can look up on the case record, how the engagement has been, so on and so forth. Yep. So that was a quick demo on ZRA APIs on how to import an external file. I hope you like this and see you in the next one. Thank you.